What is up, sports bettors? Welcome to Guys and Bets. Andrew Avery here with Jonny OddsShark. As always, thank you for joining us. Big show today. We're going to talk a little NFL free agency. We're going to talk SEC tournament, which starts tomorrow, Wednesday. We're going to talk a little bit of the Players' Championship. Chris Abbott's got his NHL quick picks. I've got a Champions League pick for tomorrow's games. But first, Jonny, why don't we start with tonight's bites?
All right.
NBA, NHL, college hoops. Let's start in the association. Maybe the single most anticipated game of the season. It's the Lakers at the Bulls. Lakers open as 1-point road faves for this one. Matchup of two horrible teams. I mean, atrocious. Bulls 1-4 straight up in ATS in their last 5, but the Lakers are even worse.
Ew, I'll say they failed to cover in 9 straight. They're just a disaster right now. Haven't held anyone to fewer than 100 points since January 7th when they were at Dallas. And they failed to cover 9 in a row. So you're going to lay points with a team that's failed to cover 9 in a row? I don't think so. Give me the Bulls.
Yeah, absolutely. NHL, big matchup in the East with the Pens around -140, -130, depending on your book on home ice here. Total sitting at 6.5. Caps enjoying a 7-game winning streak. Pens have won 4 of 5 and are coming off a big win against the Bruins. What do you got here?
Well, two rivals here, and normally when you think of these teams, lots of talent, lots of scoring, but they've actually gone under in 7 of their last 10 meetings, and the Caps have been playing much better defense since they acquired Nick Jensen at the trade deadline, so they're looking great there. I'm expecting a lower scoring game here. Total's at 6.5, so give me the under in this one.
Did you say Nick Dick Jensen?
Nick Jensen.
College hoops, it's Pitt at BC, or versus BC rather. This one opened as a pick. Now it's what? Pitt, -1-ish?
Yeah.
Total 134. You talked about the Lakers being a terrible bet, but Pitt has been maybe even worse. Before beating Notre Dame 56-53 and covering as 2.5-point chalk, Pitt had lost 13 straight, 0-12-1 ATS over that stretch.
Yeah, and that's what I'm worried about here. I'm worried that they left it all on the court in their last one to snap that losing streak. That was on senior day as well, so they leave the court on a high note, only to go into the jaws of BC, who also happens to suck, but I just think they're not quite as bad a schedule spot, so give me BC in this one.
There you go, tonight's bites, 3 picks, NBA, NHL, college hoops from Jonny OddsShark. Talking about the Lakers, Jonny, still 9th on the NBA futures board at 50-1.
I know, and they're technically not out of the playoff spot yet. Are they 7 games? I know, but not mathematically. They're not out.
Did you say
yet.
mathematically?
Mathematically, Nick Jensen. I've got the flu. I can't speak.
Yeah, 50-1, 9th on the board. No, they're not mathematically out of the postseason yet, of course, but that's just ridiculous, isn't it?
Yes, it is crazy.
Anyway, let's talk about some golf here, Jonny. Did you enjoy Bay Hill?
Loved it. Always love it.
Let's talk players here. So, DJ and Rory faves 12-1. Last year's winner Webb Simpson 50-1, and of course Tiger 22-1. But let's talk about props here. Okay. Big event, huge purse. It's hole 17, of course. Always an event full of props. What are your favorites here this weekend?
Well, one of the most popular ones out there is highest score on the hole, and the over/under is set at 7.5 for number 17, the famous Island Green at TPC Sawgrass, one of the most famous holes in golf. I kind of like the under in this one. The highest score ever on this hole is 12. We have an 11. We have a few 9s. But really, to get an 8 or higher, you kind of need to hit 3 balls in the water. And that's tough to do. The wind doesn't look too bad right now. I think that one's going to go under. And we got another one. This might be the most popular one, is the over-under on number of balls bloinked into the water here. Okay. What's your favorite into the water noise? Kersploosh?
Yeah, Kersploosh is a good one.
You like that one?
Plop is a classic.
Oh, there you go. Well,
can we get that one again from the booth? Yeah, that one's a good one.
That's a bit disturbing. I gotta say, it's disturbing. But I love the over here. 39.5 balls in the water. Last year we saw 53.
53.
4 of the last 6 years we've seen this number go over. And as somebody said on Twitter, they got it right. If we just get one windy day here, this is enough to push it over. I think this number's too low. I think we're going to see this number go up as the tournament gets closer. So I like over there for balls in the water quite a bit as well.
Okay. Anything else prop-wise?
Yeah, it's Tiger Woods to make the cut is another one.
Tiger's got a bunch of props out
Tiger
there.
has a bunch, always a lot of attention when he's in an event. He had to pull out last week with a neck strain. So there's a few different props out there, but the one I was looking at was Tiger to make the cut. And yes is minus 375. I think that's crazy. So I really like no in this one at plus 275 here. This tournament, it rewards consistency, and that hasn't exactly been Tiger over the last few years.
Right.
He's got that neck strain. All he has to do is tee off on the first hole, and there's action on this one. So there's a chance that he could pull out. If he has a bad round, we've seen that before from Tiger. Not playing well, he pulls out due to injuries and things like that. So I love no to not make the cut. This isn't his favorite event. He's won here a couple times, but typically, you can't count on him to finish top 10 every time in this one. So that's one that I like.
If you're looking for other Tiger Woods props, top 5 finish plus 350, top 10 finish plus 175. And again, 18 to 1, 22 to 1-ish, you'll find Tiger to win the whole thing. Speaking of winning the whole thing, any guys you like?
Yeah, it's when you're looking at the numbers here, 8 of the past 10 winners have been on the top 15 on the tour in strokes gained. So I'm looking at Rory, DJ, and Justin Thomas are 1, 2, and 3, and they're the top 3 favorites. But better odds, Lucas Glover is in there. He's 66 to 1. Jason Kokrak, 100 to 1. He's in there. Luke List, 100 to 1. Tommy Fleetwood, 28 to 1. So those are guys who fit that statistic, who are playing well right now with some pretty tasty odds.
If you were in the tee box on 17 here, would you stick it on the green?
Absolutely.
On your first swing?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. 137 yards. What would you hit?
I'd probably hit 3 iron.
Pretty good. With the tailwind.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, again, always a great tournament and some great stuff there from Johnny. Obviously, this week, NFL free agency just crazy. A ton of cap money out there. Not a whole lot of superstars out there. So a lot of guys are getting paid. Devin Funchess, what did he get? $13 million for a season to the Colts. Anyway, player moves have been wild. What have we seen? Antonio Brown to the Raiders. Nick Foles to the Jags, which we'll talk about here. Trey Flowers to the Lions. Landon Collins to the Redskins. C.J. Mosley to the Jets. Trent Brown to the Raiders, and so on. I think the Bills earlier today, they got Cole Beasley and John Brown.
Oh, wow. Nice. Okay.
But what I want to talk about here is some odds moves on the futures board, and the biggie here for me is the Jags. So after the Super Bowl, they were 50 to 1. I think we talked about the potential Foles signing a week or two ago. They were around 35 to 1. 28 to 1 now with Foles taking over. And I know you feel like this is a massive upgrade over Mr. Bortles.
I told you then. Take him. And I took him. Yeah, they're coming down here. Nick Foles, I mean, they have to fill some holes on the offensive line. They need a little more talent at receiver.
Sure.
Probably tight end would help. So the Jags are missing a few pieces here, but Nick Foles is like the chronically underestimated guy in the NFL. All he does is get wins for his teams, and he's a true leader that the Jags have been missing. So I think he's good enough to make them better. I just think he's going to provide leadership in that locker room that's going to bring this team together. We're going to see a different team from the Jags this year.
Yep, absolutely. And one note, I mean, with what's going on in the AFC North, with a lot of guys leaving Baltimore, talented skill position players leaving Pittsburgh, this opens the door for the Browns.
The Browns just look so awesome right now. I know.
It's amazing.
Ravens have lost a ton of guys, a ton of important players, like 4 or 5 really important guys on defense. Their odds haven't moved from 30 to 1. I think those might be the worst odds on the board. I put them
That's going to change
more like
rapidly.
100 to 1. And
John Brown gone. Crabtree was cut a while ago.
Yeah.
Who's Lamar Jackson going to throw to? Not that he can throw anyway.
He can't throw, but their defense is how they win games, and they're now out.
Yeah, Suggs went to
guys.
the Cardinals. Mosley, of course.
Yeah, you can go down the list. So I think they should be more like 100 to 1. It's probably just because that division is getting kind of decimated a little bit. But yeah, Browns look great.
Right, and of course, at the time here, Le'Veon Bell still one of the big names to go elsewhere. Right now, Jets 5-1 faves, Bucks right behind at plus 550. Do you have a guess on where he lands?
The Jets are the clear-cut favorite.
I think
it
so.
Sounds like where are the Colts on here? They have lots of cap room. They're 9-1. They have lots of cap room. I'll say the Colts. It'll be different.
Do the Colts need him?
They could
to invest a lot of money into that guy.
I think they could, to have a guy out of the backfield that is a strong running game and that they can pass to a little bit. I think he might give them something a little bit different. Do they need him? No, but they can make them better.
Right. Yeah.
They can make them better.
True, and they do have the space there. Let's switch over to college basketball real quick here, Johnny, and I want to talk about a team that you've been talking about for some time here, and SEC tournament here we're talking about specifically gets underway on Wednesday with Georgia, Missouri, and Vandy A&M. Kentucky and Tennessee are the faves to win this at 2-1. Auburn 4-1. LSU at plus 450. You like this team. Does that price make any sense to you? What's going on here?
Wow, the problem with LSU, well, a couple problems. One, LSU, it feels like nobody's believed in them all year long. They had a weaker schedule to kind of start the year.
Except Jonny OddsShark.
Yeah, I took them on futures. The problem here is Will Wade and Javonte Smart have been suspended indefinitely here because of that improper benefit scandal. So that's why there's the hesitation. This takes away some depth for them, certainly in their lineup, and who knows what will happen with the coaching thing here now throughout the tournament. So that's why these odds are a little bit higher. I still think they can win. I wouldn't take futures. I would play them game to game and roll it over a little better odds, but that's why the odds are where they are.
Let's check in with our boy Chris Abbott to see what his favorite picks are from tonight's NHL board on NHL Quick Picks. Take it away, Chris.
Thanks, fellas. I don't hate that underplay, Johnny, but I've got a little something different in line for that one on tonight's NHL Quick Picks. Hey, we had the old reverse sweep last week, but so goes betting on the NHL. It's a tough game. There are plenty of games on the board to choose from tonight, and I am a little more confident in my 3 plays this week. How fickle are the sportsbooks, by the way? Yes, the Bruins finally lost a game, but they're catching Columbus on a back-to-back and getting underdog odds tonight. Sign me up for this. The Jackets are having an impossible time scoring goals since the trade deadline. They're averaging just 1.63 goals per game in their last 8. The offense was downright anemic on Long Island last night, and hands are hovering above the panic button. Meanwhile, the Bruins are scoring more than 3 goals per game during that same stretch, despite routinely missing key guys out of the lineup. Boston is 15-1, 0-4 since the All-Star game, and has the league's best winning percentage in the second half. Now, Johnny, I'm on the Washington money line when one of the best rivalries in the NHL renews tonight in PA. The Caps have been on a superb run, winning 9 of their last 10 games, including their last 6 in a row. Despite that, they're getting plus 115 odds on the road in Pittsburgh against a Penguins team that is dealing with a ton of injuries. Washington has a massive special teams advantage as their power play is operating at 23.7% in the second half. The Penguins, meanwhile, have struggled on the penalty kill and have the number 28 ranked unit since the All-Star game. We are getting a fantastic price on the champs tonight. For my last pick, I'm going to take the St. Louis Blues on the 3-way money line at minus 120. The Coyotes are coming off a humbling loss last night to the Blackhawks and will run up against Jordan Binnington, who is 7-1 with a 1.96 goals against average on home ice. Additionally, he shut out these Coyotes on February the 19th. Arizona is 28th in the NHL in goals per game, while the Blues have the number 6 scoring defense. You know, I also think St. Louis minus 1.5 or the under could be good plays in this one, but I'm going to stick to St. Louis winning in regulation. Thanks again for having me this week, guys. For more NHL betting analysis, head over to oddshark.com as our analysts help your viewers take a bite out of your sportsbook. Now back to Johnny and Ninja.
Chrissy, going a little risky with that Caps money line.
You think that's risky?
A little bit. This is a big rivalry. I like the under a little bit better because he did mention about the penalty killing with the Caps. It's been fantastic lately. So I think we're going to see a lower scoring game, but these two teams just play each other really, really tough. That's why I went with the total instead of the money line, but we'll see.
Have you been following my footy picks here on Guys and Bets,
I
Johnny?
have not,
Oh.
because I don't bet football. But if I did,
4-0.
I would.
4-0 the last 2 weeks here on the show. I usually do
Wow.
one pick per episode. So Champions League and Europa League this week. I'll probably have a Europa League pick on the Thursday. Or no, I can't. It'll have to be a lame Friday pick.
You can do it. You're 4-0 in your last 4.
True that. So Champions League this week. I love this week's Champions League game from a fan perspective. But as a bettor, I find these fairly tough to cap. So looking at Wednesday's game between Bayern Munich and Liverpool, I'm just going to make a chalky play on Liverpool over 1 goal, -140. First leg here was 0-0 at Anfield, with Bayern playing a very, very good defensive game. Liverpool only managed 2 shots on target, with Bayern producing 0. I'd like to think this one is a bit more open with the Germans at home and Liverpool gunning for that all-important away goal. Josh Kimmich and Thomas Muller missed this one through suspension, and Kimmich there for Bayern is going to be a massive, massive miss, Johnny. So Liverpool
like
over 1, -140.
Not too bad.
Not too bad at all.
I like that one.
Thanks, man. You going to bet it?
Nope. But you're the man if I did.
But if you were gonna,
I would listen to you.
Excellent. That's great stuff, Johnny. Thank you so much for your support.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you guys for watching the show. Join us Thursday here, same time, at Guys and Bets, 3 p.m. Eastern. For Jonny OddsShark, at Jonny OddsShark on Twitter. I'm Andrew Avery, at Chalk_Ninja. Whatever you do with your bets, best of luck. We'll leave you with the shark bite of the day.